You're listening to Pillow Talk with Angela, and we're so fortunate that we're joined by friend to the show. He's been on here before, and we loved him so much we invited him back. He's an author and relationship coach, Bey Bright. Welcome back to the show, Bey.
Hey, Angela, it's great to be back with you and your listeners with Pillow Talk. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Now, this is such an interesting topic. We're talking about dating somebody who just gets way too much attention from the opposite sex, and it's a lot to deal with if you can't handle it. Am I right?
Definitely. Oh, I agree with you 100%. I actually have a lot to offer to that. I'm actually in a relationship with this very same situation, so I'd be, and really interested to talk to the listeners and the fans about something like this.
Now, if you don't mind, just talking about your personal situation, tell us about that. Set it up for us.
Okay, well, I'll give you this is a great topic, and I'm glad you called me for this. I met a woman, my fiance, about 5.5 years ago, and the bottom line is, I'm into astrology, so if anybody out there knows about Leo women in particular, they're very ostentatious. They like to be out and about. They're very showy, most of them. So my woman is she's a pretty girl, very out there, likes to dance, likes to look attractive. So the bottom line is, when I met her, I had to ask myself, was I able to handle the fact that she gets a lot of attention out here in these streets, because, I can't even step to the bathroom sometime without two brothers, looking at trying to offer a drink. And it was in the beginning, it was like, well, damn, can I step away? But, again, I'm a confident guy, so I had to really understand that she had that kind of energy. So a lot of women who are beautiful, self-assured, got it going on, a lot of times a man has to be confident in his own self and not bring that baggage of insecurity to the relationship when it comes to a woman. Because, if your woman is about you, you got to believe her and take her at her word that that's what she's about. She's about you in a relationship, and you got to roll with it.
I am so glad you said that. That is so true. All right, let's just check in with our listeners right now. We're talking about dealing with somebody, being attracted to someone. I mean, they're beautiful, and you find them very attractive. Fortunately or unfortunately, everybody else does too. Is it too much for you to handle, or can you handle it? We'd love to hear from you on Pillow Talk with Angela.
It would bother me, but I wouldn't stop that from dating that person, because you have to give everybody a chance. You can't just judge them based off of what other people are looking at. I think too much attention would probably be like them going for it, like feeding into it. If you're feeding into it, then that's too much. But if you're not feeding into it, then I guess it's okay. So I guess just give them benefit of the doubt, but keep your eyes open, because you never know.
It's like I got a crush every day.
You're listening to Pillow Talk with Angela. We're talking about being attracted to someone who is very attractive. They might be just over the top, and everybody finds them attractive. Is it too intimidating for you? Do you just not even step to them? Or are you confident enough to deal with it? I say that because that's what our special guest tonight, author and relationship coach, Bey Bright, said. You gotta be confident. Right, Bey?
Yeah, you definitely do. 3 things that I talk to men in particular about, and I've noticed there's 3 things that I point out. One is the low self-esteem. When you don't have a self-esteem about yourself, a beautiful woman, and I'm talking from the male perspective, obviously, you're going to be intimidated by that. So low self-esteem is an issue. So ladies, if you're dealing with a brother, you got to make sure his self-esteem is up to snuff.
How do you tell? How do you know if he's got low self-esteem? How can you tell?
Well, I think that a guy who is very argumentative with a beautiful woman, is always questioning her whereabouts, or why are you wearing that, and who you going out with, that kind of speaks to me about a combination of a lack of confidence and low self-esteem. And even, that's how I see it, and that's what I've noticed with a lot of brothers. So I think ladies should tend to look out for that self-esteem. If a brother who has it going on in his own right and he respects the relationship in you, he'll just say, hey, he'll trust you. It's all about the trust, of course, and the communication, and he'll let you fly and be the butterfly that you are. But a brother that's trying to stop you from looking your best, or I don't want you wearing that, take those jeans off or those heels off, or don't wear that makeup, those are signs.
Those are signs. Okay, and you had something else on your list?
Definitely. Again, lack of confidence, that kind of can tie in, because self-esteem and confidence, they're kind of cousins. I don't believe they're one and the same. They're variations. So lack of confidence doesn't always speak to a total low self-esteem, but it can be like a hybrid or the cousin of lack of self-esteem. Mm-hmm. And I also say, there's a lot of guys, Angela, who just don't want the hassle. So sometimes you understand when I say they don't want the hassle. If a woman is too beautiful, gets too much attention, a guy, sometimes it could be a confidence, esteem issue, but sometimes it's just as plain as, you know what, I'm confident in myself, but she just requires too much attention, and I don't have time for that. But okay. I want to point out the differences of a woman who has it going on and is very attractive. There's the kind that's the one that's just a natural, gorgeous person who has an energy, but she's not overly flaunting it where it attracts and invites trouble from other men. But there are those women who, unfortunately, they like to be a problem. They like to cause chaos, and so they put themselves in predicaments where men maybe have to get into altercations. Those are the kind of women that some men look at and say, I just don't want the hassle. She's pretty and all, she's sexy, but she doesn't have a certain way about her. She doesn't carry herself like a woman, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. It sounds like she probably has some self-esteem issues, too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I like to differentiate between the real woman and the unsophisticated woman who might just have the outward beauty, but inside she's not the best that she could be.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. All right, we're talking with author and relationship coach Bey Bright. We're talking about some people who don't want to deal with someone of the opposite sex because they might attract way too much attention and they just don't want to deal with it. What's your story? We would love to hear from you on Pillow Talk with Angela.
Man, I haven't tried it, and I don't even want to do that because it's kind of stress. Like every time you want to know what your girlfriend is about and what is she doing, like that's why I don't do that. For me, okay, let me put it down like this. Like sometimes when these girls, they go to the gym, sometimes it's not like they are trying to, oh, I'm going to the gym to do some exercise or something. Just trying to show up that, oh, I get a big ass and I get a good body and all that. So, like, they just want they just want the attention, like, for another guy to look at them or something, I mean, if you love the girl and you're dating the girl like that.
She is the life of the party.
You're listening to Pillow Talk with Angela, our special guest, Bey Bright, author and relationship coach. You gave us some really good information tonight. Thank you so much. And I know this is our final segment with you. Any way you want to wrap this up? Anything you want to leave us with on the topic?
Yeah, well, always want to address the ladies because that's my thing. A lot of time women say, well, what about the men? Men, I like to talk to the women because you guys are better listeners and you guys tend to be a little bit more proactive with this. So I just like to point out to the listeners, Angela, when you're dealing with guys in relationships and you got it going on as a woman, make sure you don't lie to yourself about what this man is bringing to the table. The signs are always there. It's always evident. Look for a man's confidence, his esteem, and you can really just tell from there. If the guy, again, he's questioning your every move about what you're wearing, where you're going, who you're hanging with, those are signs that he may not be able to handle you, especially if you're a respectable, good woman and you're giving this brother all the information he needs to feel secure in the relationship. Baby, I love you. This is what, there's always a respect thing there, but you can't be hassled and be haggling every 5 minutes. Those are the things I would suggest ladies look out for.
Yeah, that'll bring you way down. We're going fast. Thank you so much. Tell everybody where they can stay connected with you on social media and get your books.
Yeah, well, ladies, you can get my books, How to Attract a Real Man and Claim Your Man, A Woman's Guide to Love, Happiness, and Self-Empowerment on Amazon.com. You can also check out my website, www.beybrightinc.com. That's BEYBRIGHTINC.com. I'm an entrepreneur, a relationship coach, and I got a lot of things. I do books, I do music, so check me out. I'm on Twitter and on Facebook at Bright Vision Entertainment. Twitter, Bey Bright NYC.
I love it. Bey Bright, you're always wonderful. You're always welcome back to the show. We love having you on. And before we let you go, we want to just check in with our listeners. All right, you know our topic tonight. Have you ever not dated someone because they just attract way too much attention and you don't want to handle it? Or are you in a relationship like that? Or have you been in a relationship like that? We'd love to hear from you on Pillow Talk with Angela.
I've never not dated someone because they got too much attention. As long as, like, they're not being overly flirtatious and, like, giving all of their attention away to them, then it doesn't really bother me. I don't know. I just think that so if the opposite sex comes to the person that I'm dating and that person also, like, gives them that, like, the same attention, then I think that's, like, the boundary that's crossed. Like, but if the opposite sex is, like, all over him and he's just like, all right, well, I got a girl, then it's no, I mean, I think that's, like, a insecurity for you to, like, feel some type of way about that. I mean, but if, like, he is, like, being flirtatious, overly flirtatious, and, like, crossing a boundary, then, yeah, I would be like, okay, I would just have a conversation with him. You gotta be open, like, and just let them know this makes me uncomfortable. If they don't adhere to, like, what I'm saying, then that's when you cut it. But you gotta have that conversation.
My darling.